All right, how we doing? So right now we're taking a look at aggregate supply, okay, and we're going to take a look at the short run and shifting of it in the short run, okay. So in a previous video, I told you there's a couple things I think of when I think of aggregate supply shifting. Remember, aggregate supply is the supply of all things in the country added together. The willingness to supply for all suppliers. So there's two main ones. So can you think of it? What were they? Do you get it? Let's take a look. One, our costs, right? Is there something that's making it more expensive to supply stuff? Okay, and we're gonna take a look at a scenario like that. So cost is one, and productivity is another one. So like, are we more productive? Okay, so if something makes us infinitely more productive, that's really gonna boost our aggregate supply. If something is gonna get in the way of productivity, that's gonna decrease our supply. Right is more, left is less. So let's take a look here. I have four scenarios. I'm gonna read them. If you can't read this, it's pretty small here, but just listen to my words, and then what you need to do for each one is figure out, is that gonna increase price level or decrease price level, and is it gonna increase GDP or decrease GDP? So let's see how we do. I'll explain the scenarios first. Scenario A, an increase in a key input, oil. Okay, oil prices go up. What's that going to do? More robotic technology. So we got a lot more robots in the U.S. C, there's an increase in wages. Okay, productive technology for an input of goods. So like, let's say we figure out, for example, wood is a key input for a lot of things that we make, and let's say we figure out a way to get wood a lot more productive. So what's that going to do? I'll step out of the way. Did you get it? Hope so. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what we got. Increase in oil prices. Okay, so what's this going to do? Well, this is going to affect our costs, right? It's going to make things more expensive. And if let's say this marker cost me $1 to produce, but now a key input, let's say, is oil to make this. If the price of oil goes up, then I might now not be willing to do it for $1. It might have to be like $2. So my supply is going to decrease. It's going to go to the left. So our aggregate supply is going to shift to the left. And when that happens, what is going to happen here? We are going to have a point right here where the price level is going to go up and the GDP is going to go down. This, coincidentally, is what happened in the 1970s, and it's called stagflation in the U.S. Our oil prices went up, and so we had lower GDP, which led to lower or higher unemployment and higher price levels, and that's a real tricky mess to try to get out of. That's the worst one right there. So start out with the bad news and get better from there. More robotic technology. What's that going to do? That's going to increase supply. Supply to the right. Okay, supply to the right. So increase supply, and that's going to lower price level and increase GDP. Okay, because it's going to make us more productive. An increase in wages. So increased wages. This one is confusing. It's going to confuse you. So just listen to me and make sure you got it. You see increase in wages, say, wait a second, I bet that is actually an aggregate demand shifter because now people are going to have more money. And you're kind of right, but it matters how it's worded. If it's income for people, if you're talking about people's income, then it's going to be consumption increaser, okay? But if it's wages, then that's talking about cost to produce, okay? So then that's actually going to decrease our willingness to produce because now firms have to pay higher wages. So that means aggregate supply is going to shift to the left, increasing price level, decreasing our GDP. Productive technology for input goods. Like I said, maybe we figure out a more efficient way to get wood, and that would increase our aggregate supply, lowering price level and increasing GDP. So hopefully you got those four scenarios. Hopefully that made sense. Till next time.